College Corner.
It's another big Tuesday night slate. These are always good ones at this time of year. I've got 3 games on the card tonight that have my full attention, that the model loves as much as I do. We are going to start with the Indiana Hoosiers against the Penn State Nittany Lions. Indiana, 14.5-point favorites here. As you see, a 56% probability, that they cover this number. Indiana started the season 7-0. Ran up the metrics. Analytics loved them, put them around the 20th best team in the country after starting the season around 40th in the country. They've come back to earth a little bit, 2 straight losses to Minnesota on the road and then Louisville, where they were down 16 points early in a very flat performance in a big game over the weekend. Well, this is a get-right opportunity. You're back home for the first time in 2 weeks. You're playing a Penn State team that is arguably the worst team in this Big Ten conference. Penn State has flirted with disaster this year, despite their 8-1 record. They have wins by single digits over teams such as Fairfield, Navy, Harvard, Boston U. They have really been in the grind in those games and emerged victorious with late game separation, but this is just not a formula that's going to work into Big Ten play. Indiana is due for a big-time shooting positive regression game after a couple quiet performances from their stars, Lamar Wilkerson and Tucker DeVries. And point blank, there just isn't much resistance expected from a Penn State defense that includes a lot of youth, a lot of guys that just are not familiar with guarding at this level. So I expect Indiana to boost their analytics a little bit more. They've beaten up on every cupcake they've played this year. I think Penn State qualifies. Give me the Hoosiers minus 14.5. Next up, we stay in the Big Ten Conference, and this one might surprise some people, but we've got Ohio State at home against Illinois. This line has been on the move for the last 24 hours. I believe it opened at Ohio State plus 2.5, got all the way up to 4.5. Now it's back down to 3.5, where our model shows a 56% probability of that hitting. I will say this, Illinois is one of my favorite teams this year. When they play to their ceiling, they are extremely talented and explosive. They also have not handled adversity overly well. When they've gotten in the mud in strange spots, they've kind of tucked their tails and just played to their floor, and their floor is pretty low. Ohio State is a team that at home I think is particularly potent. This is one of the best offenses in the country. They're the number 1 2-point offense in America. They've got Bruce Thornton, who is playing like a National Player of the Year candidate right now. He's the most efficient volume scoring guard in the entire sport. I think Illinois is going to have their hands full, and importantly to me, spot-wise, this is one of those emotional roller coaster spots for an Illinois program. Like I said, they don't handle those ups and downs overly well. Coming off a neutral floor win over Tennessee, in which they were really flat for 20 minutes, but stormed away with it in the second half. To me, if they start flat tonight against Ohio State, they lose this game. Even if they don't start flat, this is going to be a 40-minute grind in a way I'm not sure Illinois is going to be able to handle coming off the high of the win against Tennessee. We'll take Ohio State plus the points, plus 3.5. I wouldn't bet this lower than plus 2.5 if the line does keep moving. Certainly if it goes in the other direction, I love it even more. And then last but not least, this is probably the biggest game of Tuesday night. We've got UConn against Florida. This is in Madison Square Garden in New York City. So not exactly a home game for the Huskies, although, East Coast, the Huskies travel well. You would expect this to be more UConn fans than Florida fans. UConn has an opportunity here for vengeance. Dan Hurley is the baddest vengeance-seeking coach in all of college basketball. He's won 2 of the last 3 national championships. The one time he didn't win a national championship was last March when he lost to Florida by 1 possession in the NCAA tournament. That Florida team went on to win the national championship. This year's Florida team is not that good. This year's Florida team has some growing pains. Xavion Lee, their star transfer point guard, has not filled in the shoes of Boogie Flan the way it was expected. He's really struggled to see his shots going in. UConn's got so many high-quality defenders in the backcourt they can throw at him. Silas Demery, Malachi Smith are both going to stay fresh in this game. The big question is, will UConn center Terrace Reed play? And I haven't heard an update on that. Hurley was kind of playing some mind games in the press conference that he's day-to-day, and without Terrace, who knows what we're going to do. I wouldn't be surprised if Terrace replays tonight, but even if he doesn't, UConn's gotten some big wins without Terrace Reed in big roles this season as well. They can get this done. I like UConn -4 in a vengeance revenge game for Dan Hurley over the Gators. Indiana -14.5, Ohio State +4.5, UConn -4 are the 3 picks for your college corner on Tuesday night.
Very good stuff. I once again will be watching the UConn one purely as a fan, as I cannot bet on them, but I love to see the card. Obviously a very different squad, but yeah, UConn's feels pretty at home in Madison Square Garden. They've had quite a few moments there, so pretty good stuff.
Yeah,
here as always, Greg.
The Dimers account had the Kemba Walker moment. That was good vibes. That was before we even locked UConn in on the card today. So the whole Dimers brand is behind this one, Dave. I love it.
Yeah. I love me some Huskies.
I love it. All right, college hoop season is far from over. We've got 3 more months of this, so stay tuned. The Dimer Sports Betting Podcast will continue to bring you these college basketball bets all season long.